Thank you so much for coming out tonight. My name is David Corbett. I'm the Awana commander. Special thanks to Kurt Curtis for being the Awana commander for so many years. He did a tremendous job. The Awana ministry here at Calvary Baptist Church is very, very important to us. Oh, by the way, why can't I be here tonight? Well, my job took me to a sophomore retreat up in Moscow, Tennessee. So I'm with the sophomores of North Point Christian School tonight. But I'm so excited to have an opportunity just to talk to you just for a minute. Parents, the ministry of Awana at Calvary Baptist Church is so important. The whole premise comes from God's Word and what God teaches the Israelites in Deuteronomy chapter 11. Let me read to you what God instructs His Israelite parents to do. He says to the parents, "You shall therefore lay up these words of mine in your heart and in your soul, and you shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as the frontlets between your eyes. You shall teach them to your children, talking to them when you are sitting in your house, and when you are walking by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates, that your days and the days of your children may be multiplied in the land that the Lord swore to your fathers to give them." Deuteronomy makes it so clear that there is a way to equip our children with God's Word, and that is, well, by repetition. The key to learning anything is repetition. I don't just go on sophomore retreats. I'm also the basketball coach at North Point Christian School. I've been a basketball coach for about 15 years. And the thing about every season is not so much the games, it's the preparation up to those games. It's constant drill work. It's constantly working. It's constantly pushing to get a little bit better and to get ready for the competition. That first game, that playoff game, that championship game. And having success in those games absolutely depends on how well we prepared and how well we trained. Did we go through the repetitions by the day, by the week in practice like we needed to, with an effort that got us ready for that big game? It's no different when it comes to the imparting of God's Word or the implementing of God's Word in our children's lives. It's the daily repetition. It's the daily living out of God's words that gets them ready for that day when, unfortunately, a godless professor is going to try to tell them something contrary to God's Word. It'll get them ready for that day when friends come and try to suggest to them that obeying God's Word, who does that anymore? It'll get them ready for that day when their employer wants them to do something that's wrong. And they'll have the biblical foundation to stand up and do what's right, thus honoring Jesus Christ throughout their lives. So the Awana ministry, why do I get so excited about it? It's because it's the equipping and training of our children for what's coming their way in the future. But you better believe, Awana will be a fun time. Let me just mention real quick. Awana sets up incentive systems in which we are constantly putting out in front of the children goals. Hey, if you say this section, oh, by the way, what's a section? Your children will get a book in Awana, and that book will have verses and different activities they'll go through for the week, and they'll have verses to memorize every week. More on the verses in a little bit. But as they complete their sections, go through the material, memorize the verses, they'll be getting prizes, they'll be getting points and opportunities to earn things. Kids like that. It's fun. It's healthy competition, and it helps us to chart their growth. Go back to verses. When it comes to kids learning verses, they need parents to prompt them. They do. As much as we'd like to think, oh, my kid will be the one that just kind of grabs his Bible and starts studying verses. Well, that's why parents are there, to help train and to prompt our kids. Here's just two ideas. Would you consider, parent, making the reciting of the Awana verses something that's done before you eat dinner at night? If you work through the week and each night before you eat, go through the Awana verses, your child is going to have them memorized by Sunday evening. Here's another thought. Before they go to bed, family devotion time. Would you consider going through those verses with your child to get them ready for Wednesday, for Sunday? Speaking of Wednesday, Katie Fowler, Tim Fowler are setting up a tremendous Wednesday night program here at our church at Calvary. Everybody's invited. It's an opportunity for our kids to be tutored in their verses, so to speak, along with the rest of the things that go on a Wednesday night program. So the kids will actually be learning the verses through the week at home and Wednesday in preparation for Sunday, in which they will recite their verse to their leader. So parents, will you get on board? Will you help? Will you prompt? Will you reward and set up maybe your own incentive programs at home that they may be equipped with God's Word and they'll know God's Word? Two things real quick as I finish. Number one, we're going to have a Facebook page devoted to Calvary Baptist Awana. So notifications will go through that, as well as emails coming from your leaders. Second thing I want to mention was the calendar you're getting. Hey, that helps add excitement and helps keep our kids anticipating and looking forward to Sunday evenings. Next night, or our next Sunday together, will be neon night. So find some neon, wear some neon, and we'll have some fun with that. Parents, I can't thank you enough, and I can't request of you enough that you pray for the Awana leaders and pray for your kids, especially as we will be praying for your child as they grow in his knowledge, her knowledge of God's Word through our Awana year. I look forward to seeing you and meeting you and talking to you later. Have a great night.